Joined by UMass Boston senior Charlie Huegi, head coach Brendan Eygabroat, senior Eddie Riley, and senior Bobby Tramondozzi. Coach, first, a comment about today's games overall.
All three games were excellent games. Tip of the cap to New England College. They're really good. We battled back and forth. Each game could have gone, either way. We were lucky in that, if necessary, game that we got some really clutch hits. Our seniors led us. I thought Fash really gave us an excellent start. He's been really good this year. Rudy came in and put up some zeros, and then we were able to hand the ball off to Bob, and that's usually game over. And I think both teams played extremely well. It was a lot of fun to be a part of, and I feel real fortunate that we get to go with this group of guys out to out to Cedar Rapids, to the World Series again, because it's been a year where we've had to overcome a lot of adversity with some key guys getting hurt, and we scuffled early in the year, and we could have gone one of two directions, and the seniors led us in the direction where we're at right now, where we reeled off a ridiculous amount of wins at the end of the year, and looking forward to going out and enjoying the World Series.
We'll go from left to right. We'll start with Charlie. You're named the MOP. Probably one of the few guys who loves being in that 9 spot. It doesn't seem to matter where you hit. You've been really successful in postseason play. Can you take us through this tournament? You end up with 6 RBI out of the 9 spot. It seemed like those guys were getting on in front of you, and you kept coming through, especially with 2 outs.
I don't know. I just like being the 9 hole. I like being the second leadoff on the team, and I just kind of take a deep breath. I kind of tone everything out and just lock in.
What did this contest mean, having to go to a Game 3? You guys hadn't lost in the postseason all year, and to now be forced, especially with the way that game went, where they went up, you guys came all the way back in Game 2, and then to score 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning.
I think it's important that we kind of came together as a team. We've never been swept in a long, long time, so knowing that we had an if necessary game, even if we lost, was definitely it wasn't too big of a deal, and I knew we were all fired up to come out and get the second game.
Turn it over to the 3rd leadoff hitter in this lineup. Eddie, you started the year as leadoff hitter, and this weekend you kept popping up either with no outs or 1 out, and you were able to get that rally started. Ton of extra base hits. What was your focus? You had a great LEC tournament, struggled in the regionals, and then you came back and were one of the big hitters for this team, because it never seems to be the same 2 or 3 guys game in and game out.
Yeah, I think I think I've said it before. I think our lineups got a lot of depth to it, and I think anybody at any point can really just break out and, get a couple hits here and there and have a great tournament. And, I don't think I swung the bat the way I wanted to in regionals, but I was able to just kind of shake it off and pick myself back up for Supers.
With each of those big extra base hits, a huge salute to the dugout and to the fans who were sitting next to you guys. What was the fan support like this weekend? They were loud last weekend. They had to be even louder to be heard this weekend against NEC.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think that's an atmosphere that, I'll cherish forever. Same with New England College. They had a great atmosphere too. So I think just having the support and being able to play on our home field was, a huge advantage for us. And, the fans really came up big for us too.
Turn it over to Bobby. Got the win yesterday. Today brought in for the save, a big situation. Had some runs to play with, but the bases loaded and 2 down. How were you able not only to keep your focus against the lineup that hit extremely well, but just able to keep your focus with everything else that was going on, because you just looked down and there were 90 different people trying to cheer you on or cheer against you in this contest?
Yeah, the fans were really crazy. Never seen anything like that here at Monin. Staying focused was a big thing. Thinking in the bullpen, just after pitching yesterday, figuring out what their lineup is and how they attack fastballs, sliders, whatever. I just knew I needed to focus down hit spots, and with the fans, you just drown them out and not try to listen to whatever they say.
What did you see out of a freshman and then a sophomore ahead of you, especially Tyler Ruda, a guy who's barely come out of the pen in his career, and now to do as well as he did today, 2 2/3 to bridge the gap to you?
Yeah, Fash and Rudy really stepped up today. I think upcoming years they're gonna be the ace of the staffs, and having them come in, throw the ball as well as they did, and get us to where we are today really shows how good of pitchers they are.
You ended the LEC tournament, you ended the regional, now ending the super regional. How special is that as a senior to be the guy who's getting that ball in the situation, to get that final out and have your teammates rushing at you after you were able to get the job done?
I mean, yeah, being the closer the past 3 years, I haven't had that opportunity, but seeing everyone run at me is it's like the best feeling in the world. I mean, having all your 40 of your best friends run at you, try to tackle you as you try to go down. I mean, it's just amazing.
Coach, obviously, second time in a couple years here going to the World Series. How kind of special is it that you're also doing it with another New England team?
Yeah, I mean, to be in 3 straight regional championships and to win 2 out of the 3 is outstanding. I mean, last year really ate at me because I just felt like we didn't play our best ball. I didn't coach my best in the 2-0 game versus Oswego, so I just tried to use it as motivation and come back this year better and learn from some of the miscues last year. And I thought we were going to be aggressive. Even today we got thrown out trying to take free 90s and delayed steals, some different things. And that's the kind of club we want to be. We want to make sure that we're going to go down pushing the tempo and pushing the tone and not sitting back and just sort of waiting around. And I thought that's what we did. It's special to be there. I mean, winning is really hard, and I think for this senior class to be in 4 straight regionals and 2 World Series with the chance to go to 4 World Series. I mean, we were in the 2-0 game every year and had leads in some of those games. So, I mean, it's pretty unbelievable what they've done and how far the program has come where, no one really wanted the job when the previous coach left. And now, this is, a really marquee program, not only in New England but nationally. So I think, kudos to the guys. They deserve all the credit. I think how much effort they put in. We talk about feeding the meter and being a team that's going to go and do extra in the batting cage and get extra reps early. And the way these guys work in the weight room, I think is the reason why we're so strong at the end of the year, both, no pun intended. And I think our strength coach deserves a lot of credit, but the seniors are the one that they pick the times they're going and they just go and do it. I don't micromanage it at all. And that's why we are where we're at.
For any of you guys kind of along that same line, just what did you guys learn last year that you think you guys can take into obviously going to another World Series?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year we had the same feeling that we had during regionals. We felt the World Series was right at our fingertips, and we just came up a little short at the end of it. And I think we learned a lot in that regional, and we were able to use it towards our experience come this regional.
Coach, just one more. You mentioned it with me before, just how strong a year it was for New England. What does it mean for you guys to be going there with another New England team?
Yeah, to have 2 New England teams going is unreal. I wish we didn't have to play the Beavers in the first round. That's probably I texted them this morning and said I had Beaver fever until we faced them because they've been knocking on the door the last couple of years, so I know how tough that is when you're almost there and you don't get that opportunity to go. But they've got a big senior class. They're a hell of a team, and I'm glad that New England is sending 2 teams because New England was really, really good this year. And I think, hopefully, New England can make some noise out in the World Series.
Guys, one final question for any of you. We're out in right field where you guys huddled up a couple times early on in the year at home after some tough losses where this did not look like the team the last 3 years. What does it mean to be here in this spot with a couple of your best friends and having a chance to get back to where you were in 2017?
I think it shows a lot about the pride and the family that we've built here, especially with this team. We're a big group. We love each other. We hang out all the time. So I think just being together and coming together as a team is definitely what we've learned from losses and carried us to where we are now.
Yeah, and I felt like in the beginning of the year we were pressing a little bit, you know what I mean? I think everyone was trying to replace Murphy and Fowler, and you start off with a top 10 ranking and you lose a couple tight ones, and all of a sudden it was like the sky was falling, and I think we stopped having fun. And I remember the seniors were just like, hey, we got to be loose, we got to have fun. And I think people look at us pregame, and these guys are whipping around a Nerf football or playing, doing some fungo and doing some flips or playing a little hacky sack, and they're like, what are these guys doing? But that's how we play our best, is when we're loose and we don't let the moment get too big.
Guys, thanks so much for your time. We'll talk to you again before the team heads to Iowa next week for the second trip in 3 years to the College World Series.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Josh.
Go.